So we not gonna talk about this?
For both visitors and residents of South Lake Tahoe, it's shocking to hear about a case of the bubonic plague.
The what? California resident catches the plague, likely from infected flea at Lake Tahoe. The plague in the big 2025? Whoever caught the plague needs to be quarantined ASAP. I'm talking about hyperbolic chamber that nigga. Metal box only, no windows, no window. Now, I'm not saying it could get to this point, but 25 to 50 million people died in Europe because of this shit. They need to airdrop this dude to a different island or something, bro. Nah, you can't stay here. From now until the end of time, Lake Tahoe is a locked area on the map. Nobody should be over there. We're really about to be out here with these motherfuckers on, bro. They're selling it for $50. I'm about to get me one. So now I've been through Ebola, H1N1, the Rona, and now the bubonic plague. The only answer to this problem is to execute his.
So somebody died of the bubonic plague yesterday at my local hospital. The plague is endemic to this area in northern Arizona. There was a prairie dog die-off last week, and yesterday somebody was admitted to the hospital and died the same day. Hard not to be concerned about that, particularly with a dog that loves to stick his head down prairie dog holes. If you have cats and you let them free roam, now is a really good time to not let them do that. Cats are particularly susceptible, apparently, to this. So, I'd keep them inside, guys.
To my dearest residents of California, do not fear the plague. It is not coming to get you. It does not matter that a man was infected by a flea in South Lake Tahoe. It is not coming for you. You will be A-okay.
Chat. Word around the corner is that deadly virus known as the bubonic plague has just resurfaced after a California resident tested positive for the deadly virus after camping out at Lake Tahoe and being bitten by an infected flea. Chat, and for those of y'all that's not familiar with the plague, this is one of the most fatal pandemics in human history. It literally wiped out 50% of Europe's population and claims the lives of over 25 million people in the 1300s. But back then, it was calling this the Black Death, chat. So a message for all my people in the Lake Tahoe area, especially the ones with pets. We know that fleas carry the infection. We know that fleas live on animals and other rodents. And most likely, the animal that the fleas with the infection is living on might die. So you know those fleas will go out looking for other blood sources. But before I leave, I'm gonna run down a few symptoms for y'all to make sure y'all cool, man. Coughing can contain blood. You can cough up blood. Vomiting, nausea, swollen lymph nodes, pain in the abdomen, things of that nature. So if you ain't got none of that, you good. But I'm just saying, be well, man. Stay on the lookout.
What in the name of God is this particular plague? What is the causes of this plague? What is actually happening? Why do the Americans have to suffer this particular kind of plague as at this time when a lot is already happening? This is really, really annoying, guys. And when I actually saw this, I said, no, I have to bring it down to your table. A plague called bubonic plague is actually circulating, and every single person have really been talking about this. And I was like, no, not this time. Like, not this time. According to research, this particular plague has really happened and has killed millions of people in the US. That was back centuries upon centuries, and that was when they have to now give it a particular name. It is surprising that someone actually tested positive, and a lot of people are now scared. How are we now going to be moving, especially for those of us in California? Anyways, hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. It's Sonia, and I'm back again with another mind-blowing video. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are fine. Hope you guys are good. If it's first time tuning in, do it, subscribe, like this video, drop me your comment, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. And to every single one of you that subscribed to 1.8K, I'm so grateful. Thank you. If you're watching, you've not subscribed, hit on my subscribe button. In today's video, we'll also uncover some of the symptoms so that you're also watching can actually learn some of these symptoms in case you're having those symptoms so that you can go and check yourself. But I want to also remind you that do not panic so much, okay? Because it has not spread so wide. Anyways, let me know what your opinion is in the comment section. Have you heard about this plague? Have you not heard about this plague? From the small videos from the small clip that I actually play, you can see that this plague is not even a good one at all. This plague will give you some swollen or some this thing that is like eggs. Please, if this is rumor, right, please let me know as well in the comment section. But with the videos I've actually seen and some of my research, this particular thing is real. We are not ready to deal with all of this. But anyways, let me go ahead and roll out the remaining clips I have for you guys, and then I'll come back with commentaries. Let me know what you think in the comment section, guys. Let's go.
So you've just heard of the first few cases of the bubonic plague in 2025, where you should know the last known outbreak wasn't since the 1700s back in London. You see, a resident in South Lake Tahoe, California, has just tested positive for the bubonic plague in Trump's America that doesn't even believe in climate change, but that's neither here or there. But now officials are saying that this was because they were infected by a flea whilst camping. And they're now recovering at home, which I pray to God for obvious reasons that they are isolating, and they don't just take the term of social distancing as some sort of left-wing woke mumbo-jumbo. But I'm sure we all remember from our history class what the symptoms of the plague include, that being chills, high fever, nausea, bloody mucus, vomiting, and of course even if untreated. But regardless, this should not be alarming just so long as it's contained. And even though we're all wishing a swift recovery of all that's affected, I personally cannot imagine being diagnosed with something so notoriously damning as the bubonic plague during a time where RFK is leading the Department of Health. No tea, no shade. Because yes, even though experts stress that this disease isn't easily passed between humans, it typically comes from flea bites. Still, seeing one of history's most deadliest diseases reappear during a Trump administration that appears to shrug off both health and education through active defunding just seems painfully ironic to me. And I take no pride in saying that, because I know for a fact that if there was a highly transmissible pandemic tomorrow, America's response would not be that effective.
Someone in California just got a positive test for the bubonic plague. So let's talk about it before we all start freaking out about going through another world pandemic. This wonderful disease, known as the bubonic plague, bubonic because it causes bees, bubonic really means growing. It's a bacterial infection that mostly gets carried to humans by fleas. Usually a flea bites a rodent or other wild animal that carries the disease, and then said flea also bites a human, and then human gets this disease. And it has a notorious history. The first bubonic plague in Europe was called the Justinian plague, as it ravaged through Constantinople. The good news is that most historians believe that it wasn't as bad as we initially thought. But there was a second wave, and that was much, much worse. It was affectionately named the Black Death, and it claimed the lives of 1 in 3 Europeans. Even today, there is an island off the coast of Venice where they would send patients with the bubonic plague. They believe a third of the ground is actually bones of all the people that have died there. There's some very spooky documentaries on it. So, should we be concerned? Yes and no. The first part to understand is that we now have a treatment for the disease. We do have a vaccine, but it's not widely distributed and is only offered to people that are at high risk of exposure. But the most important thing to understand is that this case is not special. There is anywhere from 500 to over 3,000 cases of bubonic plague every single year around the world. The majority of cases today are in sub-Saharan Africa. Most interestingly, in the US, most cases are in the Southwest. That is because in the 1920s, Los Angeles had a bubonic plague outbreak. And ever since then, you can find signs like this out in nature, because the urban rats eventually did mix with the rural rats and passed on this crazy disease. Back in the day, the chance of dying was over 60%. So how lethal is this disease now? With modern interventions, antibiotics, and early intervention, the fatality risk is below 10%. So if you see one of the signs, stay clear.
Someone in California just tested positive for the bubonic plague, aka the Black Death. The same plague from the 1300s that wiped out 1/3 of the population at the time. I didn't even know that this was still a thing. Apparently the guy caught it from getting bit by a flea while camping over by Lake Tahoe. And on Kalshi, people are using this news as an excuse to place bets on how many bubonic plague cases there will be this year. If this does become an outbreak though, Chrome Hearts is gonna start making plague doctor outfits. And I'm gonna get dripped out.
So did you hear about the person in Tahoe that tested positive for the plague? Yeah, like the bubonic one. Like the black one, the black plague. Normally I do research on this type of shit, but I want to keep it a surprise. Because where did you even get that? I thought they discontinued the black plague. I thought it was done. Bitch, the Black Plague was so bad that I've always known about it. Like, I don't remember when I learned it. That's how bad the Black Plague was. Does anybody remember when you learned about it? Because I just spawned onto Earth and I was like, fuck, the Black Plague? In 2025, you had the Black Plague. August 20th of 2025. What did you do? I don't mean to victim blame. This is your fault for sure. You don't go outside and just catch a little bit of bubonic plague. That's not how that works. All I'm going to say is if you're in Tahoe, stay home, ho. Or goodbye, ho. You feel me? Black Plague in 2025 is so crazy. This is Trump's fault somehow. We are so back, baby. This is the beginning of the end.
A biblical plague is back. People are freaking out right now, and here's what we know. A California resident essentially tested positive for the bubonic plague, and right now it's pretty bad. But the real question is, how did he even get this ancient plague in the first place? And this is how. Essentially, he was camping in the South Lake Tahoe area of California, and he got bit by a flea who was carrying it. Yes, a literal flea. Gave this guy fever, nausea, and swollen lymph nodes. As of right now, it's only in California. It's not widespread yet, so that's good news. But unfortunately, it may only be a matter of time, as we all remember the monkeypox situation. But honestly, just stay out of that part of California. California has a history, as literally last year there was a whole monkeypox outbreak. Anyway, to avoid getting the current variant of the bubonic plague, scientists are urging people and pets to stay away from any rodents, which include squirrels, as apparently rodents are some of the biggest carriers of the bubonic plague. Because, fleas are attracted to rodents. And some of those fleas carry, the bubonic plague. But anyway, make sure you guys save, share, and add me for updates about this. And if you know anybody in California, definitely send this to them. But hey, I do cover daily trends, news, and updates, so make sure you guys add me for updates about this and more.
Anyways, this is really, really sad. I also did some of my small background check to know what actually is the symptom, what is the causes of this, why did this have to start spreading, and so on and so forth. And according to what I find out, this is like not the first time of the plague in the United States, right? But this is like long centuries ago. And it is surprising that someone have to test positive to it, and right now some hospitals are already confirming that they actually lost someone. So if you have animals in the house like cats, dogs, you have to make sure now that you're keeping them safe. Anyways, this is other things that I find out that I feel like it is important for you guys to also know, right? They said it is a rare but serious bacterial infection that is transmitted by flea. Okay, the bubonic plague is caused by the bacteria Yersinia pestis. It can spread through contact with infected flea. Symptoms include swollen lumps, swollen knobs, which can be as large as chicken eggs in the groin, armpit, or neck. They may be tender and warm. Others include fever, chilly, headache, fatigue, and muscle ache. You understand? So, if you have any of these symptoms, guys, rush to the nearest eye clinic to go and check up yourself so that you will know that this particular plague called bubonic plague did not come near your doorpost, right? And here is bubonic plague is one of the 3 types of plague caused by bacteria Yersinia. One of the 7 days exposed to the bacteria developed, and the same symptoms that I actually mentioned, and so on and so forth. See, it is important that you just go and check yourself, right? And this should not be like a scare for especially people that are residing in those particular area where the person actually tested positive. Yes, the person has tested positive, but it doesn't mean that you are infected, right? So, but if you're having any of these symptoms, kindly try to go check yourself. And I just pray that this is actually being taken away, because as at this point, US don't need this. Like, they do not need this. They're already going through a lot for them to start dealing with another plague and start running up and down or start getting quarantined or quarantined. Like, they do not need it. And I didn't even pray for this to even spray. So let me know, guys, is there any measure for those of you that is staying in those particular area, the California area, especially where the person was infected, according to news? Is there any Is there any precaution measure that the government is already taking? Let me know in the comment section. Or are they not doing anything? Are they just sitting down? What are they really doing to put a stop to this? Let me know in the comment section. Immediately I saw this, I was like, this is a very important information for me to pass it down to you. This plague, according to what we've seen, according to what we've heard in news, it is real, and you can see from some of the clues that I've actually played for you. Keep yourself safe out there. Keep your animals safe out there so that they don't contact it and come and spread it to your dear house. Anyway, subscribe, like, comment, and share. And yes, with no further ado, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye. I love you guys. Mwah.